Sloan!
Hey.
We have a very special guest today on the show. We have James Herron. James, welcome.
Welcome, James.
Appreciate it.
James is the director, the leader, the head honcho at the Gaelic Athletic Club of Tulsa.
Yeah.
And by Gaelic, we mean Irish.
Yeah.
Irish sports. And you're bringing the sport of hurling to Tulsa.
Yeah. I've been at it since probably July or August of last year, and just kind of getting the momentum going and picking up.
Sloan and I have been to Ireland at least 1 million times, probably an infinite number of times. It's countless. And one of the first times we ever went, we saw hurling. We were like, "What is that?" And it's so fast and it's so fun and the
So
high
fresh
scoring.
and new. Gaelic sports were like, wait, what?
Yeah,
We had no idea. Like
No.
Ireland kept surprising us. So.
New to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so,
got us,
right,
of
yeah.
course,
So now we've figured out we love watching. We listen on the radio. Even it's
Radio,
such great.
driving in the car in
so,
Ireland.
So James, how do you explain the game to an Okie who's has never seen it or even been to Ireland?
Yeah, so the easiest way that I've ever explained it has been it's a mixture between field hockey, lacrosse, and elements of rugby in there in terms of the physicality of it. It's always just kind of interesting, though, to try and figure out what elements of those sports that I'm referring to are kind of incorporated into the sport of hurling itself.
So you've got some special
Yeah.
equipment, and this is what you play with.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that and show
Right.
us?
So this is a hurley, or a hurl, depending on who you talk to, and this is a slitter, basically the ball that you would use to get down to the field and obviously objectively get into the goal or up through the posts.
Right. So there's two ways to score. You
Yep.
can hit it sort of high through
Right.
like a field goal through the uprights.
Yep.
And then you can do it like a soccer ball into the net,
Yep.
like a soccer goal.
Right.
And that's
Worth 3 points.
30 points.
One
Yeah.
point for the
Uprights.
uprights,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me see that. Hurley.
Yeah, so hold that up, Sloan. Let everyone see it.
This looks like a weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
Sharp
and
The
here.
jagged edge.
So,
And as I understand it, it was sort of like it was a weapon. So the game sort of evolved out of warfare.
Right. I mean,
Right?
it was considered, in whatever shape or form, something that you weren't allowed to have.
Yes.
Back when, Ireland and England were fighting. So it was something that, the soldiers would be very, skeptical of, more or less.
Yeah. And it's an ancient sport. I mean, how old is it?
Over 3,000 years, yeah.
3,000 years. I mean, obviously it's evolved, but
Yeah.
for 3,000 years, and I asked you this before, how the heck do you protect yourself when you're walking around with sticks like this?
It
and
looks
you're
like an axe. It's
swinging
like a
it?
wooden axe or shillelagh.
You're going up to catch the ball.
Right.
How do you do that?
I mean, absolutely. It's all kind of about knowing the fundamentals and knowing how to protect yourself. It's kind of like in rugby, you don't have those crazy tackles like you'd have in football because the
Right.
guys do it more fundamentally. So
Yeah.
whenever I'm going up to try and catch the ball up in the air with my bare hand, and I know that there could very well be somebody coming over top with that, with the hurley, I bring the hurl up with me in my other hand to kind of mitigate that blow to, protect this hand so I can
Right.
still catch it.
So it's
Must
part of your play, right?
Yeah.
Defense
Yeah.
for your body literally
Right.
is part of the play. That's
Right.
smart.
And that's
very
like it's got to take a lot of training because
Yes.
it's not it's not second nature to do
Right.
it.
Yeah, and it's always funny because the first thing whenever anybody's trying it out is I work on the pickup. So basically, the ball's on the ground, you can't pick it up with your bare hand. You have to use that stick to get it up into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And 5-10 minutes later, the person's cursing because they still can't get it in their hand. And it's just you have to understand it's part of the elements of it
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you're just gonna basically see field hockey where they're just hitting it on the ground.
Right.
Now in Gaelic football, and I don't know that sport that well either,
Sure.
but they drop the ball every now and then. They have to, right? They have to
Yeah.
drop the ball every dribble.
then- yes,
And then
you
they
try-
either kick it or
right.
bounce it off their toe or
Right.
whatever. What do you have to do if you wanted to run with the ball in hurling?
So you have
Okay.
3 steps with the slitter in your hand.
Yeah.
After that, you're balancing that on the stick. So you're running full sprint with this on your stick, just kind of
And
hanging
you got to
out.
keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can balance it as well.
Oh, you
it's,
can.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about whatever you
Okay.
have most control over.
I got you.
I mean, if I'm going into a full sprint, I'm probably better served bouncing it and just kind
Right.
of keeping it going rather than, just
That's a
balancing
lot
it.
to concentrate
Yeah.
on, though. At the same time, it's like.
And meanwhile, you've got a guy coming at
here
you.
come the guys. Yeah. Holy cow. Wow.
It doesn't have a lot of crazy rules. What I love about it is it's a simple sport, right? And just you can sort of watch a game, a match and pick up the rules
Right.
pretty easily.
Yeah.
But are there rules like how long you can stand and hold You know, there's rules like you have to bounce.
Right.
The,
So yeah, I mean, you have
slitter.
3 steps with this in your hand. Truth be told, if I'm going in a full sprint, you don't know when my 3 steps and 4 steps are. So the referee, more than anything, honestly just counts seconds.
Okay.
So after 3-4 seconds, he's figured, all right, you've probably taken too many steps.
And what's that penalty called?
You just drop it. It's a free going the other way.
Okay.
So what they do is they have the ball in their hand to pick it up with their stick and smack it down to the other way.
Did we talk about the weird score that when we walked?
Right.
First time we walked into the pub, we're like,
notation.
what is this sport? And then it was the dash and the two sides.
2 numbers separated by a hyphen.
Right.
So Grant and I are whipping out our phones like,
Trying to
okay,
figure
what
that
is the score?
Carry the 5.
Yeah, you want to explain the
Yeah,
scores?
so the first number, if you will, is how many goals are scored. So those are the 3 points.
Right.
And then the dash, and then they have how many through the uprights.
Right, okay.
So, if it's 120, that means that they've scored 23 points.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, there's so many different sort of strategies. Like there are teams that just they don't even try for goals. They sort of long range, hit it through the uprights from the middle of the field.
I mean, once you get good enough, you can strike it 60, 70 yards through the uprights every single time. So rather than knocking it 40, 50 yards and having a 50-50 ball where your guy may or may not get to it or might be beaten out by the other one, it may make more economical sense to go for the uprights.
Yeah, so you can be a smaller, faster team,
Right.
And if you've got some guys who can strike it, I mean, you can outplay.
And then we
bigger
have
We
teams.
saw that with Kerry one time.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Was it Kerry that just
Galway,
that was
Galway.
their signature move. They just owned it.
Right, and we'll have some guys playing like the full forward position that'll basically play like the Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I'm just going to post up. I'm going to just occupy space. I'm going to make your life a living nightmare.
Yeah, right. And you get into that guy and he's going to score, and that's a much more sort of physical brand to play because it gets pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it can get chippy.
Yeah.
See, that's your drunken uncle. We want the chippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that chippy. Yeah.
We want the fried fish and the
There you go.
and the pints.
So James, you're bringing hurling to Tulsa. You've got some events coming up. What's on tap?
So for the most part, what we've been doing is we've been doing training sessions every other week since October, and as we get closer to the tournament, we're probably going to do it closer to every week. And then we have, we're all gearing up towards the tournament where we're really going to try and showcase the sport to the city of Tulsa, because it's great for me to explain it. It's great for you to kind of conceptualize it, but until you've actually seen it. So April 6th, we're going to have it downtown Tulsa, 18th of Boulder, Veterans Park. And right now we've got somewhere around eight or nine teams that are coming down. So, you'll get the full exposure about what the sport truly looks like.
Will there be music or anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, we'll have
So
live
you're
music the
full
entire
thing.
We'll be led out by bagpipes and drums. And,
I'm there.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, we were saying we're going to be there at 9:30, but you said earlier that you guys are kicking off around 7:30.
Well, no, we're going to kick off at 9:30. We're going to be field setups, and there may or may not be adult beverages.
May or may
Available.
not be.
Yeah, I mean,
So, as a person who reads through the lines, I'll be picking him up at around 7, and we'll be there. Because there may or may not be adult beverages.
Arnie's is one of their sponsors, so I'm trusting. I believe in Arnie's to come through.
Arnie's
with
will
a keg
deliver.
of Guinness.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you've got a Dead Armadillo patch on.
Yeah, we've got Dead Armadillo, we've
some
got
great
Willow's
sponsors.
Family Ales, and then we've got Hunt Club as well.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Well
Good.
done, man.
It's great to see Tulsa supporting and
Absolutely.
and being there and helping you with this.
Yeah, it's just been I've said this to my wife a number of times. It's been such a humbling experience because, truth be told, I'd been playing prior to moving out here, and this was just kind of sitting collecting dust in my garage for 3 years. And my wife finally said, why don't you see if you can get this going?
Wow.
So in July or August or whenever it was, I was like, all right, well, let's see where we get. And now to know that it's gone, much bigger than anything that I previously thought of. I mean, when I was saying, hey guys, I'm thinking about putting on a hurling tournament, if I got 10 follow-up questions and I was a deer in the headlights, just like, sure, yeah.
I just took off.
You didn't realize what you were getting yourself into.
Where do you want to have it? Yeah.
Right. Well, it's reached this point.
Yeah.
You did great work.
Right.
Is it really growing as a sport in the United States?
Yes. So there's actually somewhere around 110 clubs in the United States and Canada. Between adult organizations like ourselves, and then there will be college organizations, camogie leagues, things like that.
So teams are coming from Illinois and Texas and all
Colorado,
of the Midwest.
Memphis,
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
So,
We're there. We're going to be there.
We will.
Absolutely.
So, how did you get into the sport? You have a special connection to Ireland.
So,
I don't
yeah.
want to leave before we.
Yeah, no, and I was curious when I should start breaking out the accent, making my mom uncomfortable. But I was born in New Jersey. My mom was born and raised in the southern-east corner of County Wexford. So she's always grown up playing hurling and everything like that. She played more field hockey, but whenever when I was I think 17 years old, I went out in Dublin with my cousins on St. Patrick's Day. We were painting shamrocks on faces for charity and things like that. And afterwards, we went over to Croke Park, and that was the first time I'd ever seen the sport. And I was looking at them and I said, "What did you guys just get me a ticket for? What am I watching? Why are these two guys fighting? Wait, what's going on?" So then, fast forward to after I graduated college, there was a team that was playing 2 blocks away from my apartment in Hoboken, and I said, I've got no reason not to give it a go. And I
had to. Yeah.
So I played for 4 years there, and now I'm out here in Tulsa trying to work to bring it out here.
Are you teaching them the Irish accent? So not just
an Irish accent. It's a Wexford accent.
Well, I mean, it's probably, I don't know if it's necessarily the Wexford accent. It's more or less what I've heard between my cousins that live out in Dublin and Blackrock area, and my mom from Enniscorthy area. So, but
it's that
I think everyone on the team should have their Irish accent going.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's where our role is. Yeah. Coming and teaching really fake
Well, the
Irish
fun
accents.
time is when you look at them and you say, "Are you having a good bit of crack there?" And just looking at them and waiting for them to respond.
Yeah. they're like, "Oh, I'm putting my pants up. What do you mean? I got a little crack there." Oh.
I don't do drugs. No, crack is the most important word in the entire Irish language. It's like fuck in English.
Or you're being Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Egypt. Yeah, the crack means fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about
stories.
the fun.
It means good conversation. It has so many meanings.
Right.
It's just a very awesome word that says everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So hurling is a good bit of crack. James, thank you so much for coming and being on your Uncle.
We can't wait to see you. April 6th, everybody. April 6th, Veterans Park, 9:30 a.m. until when?
6:30, and then we're gonna have the after party at Home Club.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
All right, your drunken uncle.
You're drunken uncle, you're drunken uncle. You like to show